Hello everyone, and welcome to SOLASTA. This is the first episode proper of the series, I suppose. We've done a few looking at the various settings and options, as well as 4 tutorial missions, but here we have the full party together for the first time, and we are looking to move across the city, looking for information about our first quest together. This is the tavern that we have entered from, and we were told to go north, I believe, although there seems to be a trader here and possibly a chest, so as is always the case, we're going to divert from the main path from the off and see what happens. This button allows us to select the whole party, and so I don't know if one of these things is not theft, or maybe it's the notice board that they're trying to show me. But there was something here on the map, wasn't there? Party stash. It's yours to use. Unknown party stash. I see. So there's a couple of chests here that we can move stuff into and out of, I guess. Obviously, it's not showing us those options currently. And let's have our paladin with the high charisma lead the party and speak to this person, perhaps a trader or some such.
Talk after you're swearing in.
Oh, all right, game. You know how to break someone's spirit, don't you? So let's go and find our swearing in. Is this the wrong place?
The council's in the opposite direction.
Well, my geography is terrible. I thought it was up the stairs. What's this? The Legacy Council meeting. Alright. I'm sure I can figure this out. There is a north on the compass. And I guess this is the big staircase they were speaking of. We have the map of the party's location. That's the main map. This is take a short rest. Pause the flow of time. Alright. We'll figure this out in due course, I'm sure. Is this our swearing in? No. Because we can see from the map that this is not it. To the left and up the stairs is what we were told.
Nice gardens.
Legacy Council. Click to open the map. Okay. So it's going to start unlocking all these locations in the city, all the individuals. People have different attributions to guilds and people. An angry bush, unknown content. Well, if there was ever something I had to do, it's go and look at an angry bush. Not sure why the map knew that this was here, but how could you say no to it? Angry violets. We've already got some of those. I don't know what they're going to be used for, but we'll find out in good time. Now, is that definitely the thing that we were looking at? Yes. Alright, now let's get sworn in and get this show on the road. Ah, wonderful. Exclamation point over top of head. We like to see it.
Look at the size of this council hall.
So this is what they spend our taxes on.
Look, is that the princess? Wait, is she leaving?
Apparently so.
Then who will administer the oath?
I have no idea. We're too low for her.
A lady like her wants nothing to do with drudges like us.
You thought it would be the princess?
If not her, then who?
If she rules the whole principality, who's more important?
Lady Keen, the council's oathkeeper, is trusted by all.
Lord Karen,
Yes, milady.
are these your new deputies?
They are, milady.
My name is Lyra Keen, Oathkeeper of the Council.
Shush. Quiet, everyone.
And I will be administering your vows. Once sworn in, you will carry the authority of the Council wherever you go. Your every action will reflect upon the Council's reputation. Remember that. Always. Now, please, raise your right hands. Do you, each and all, solemnly swear your lives and allegiance to this Council, and promise to carry forth our mission to protect our alliance from any who would threaten the common good?
I swear.
I swear.
Excellent. Lord Karen will enter your name into the Council's register. Thank you for your service.
Congratulations, deputies.
Wait, that's it?
You were expecting a parade?
What were you expecting? A parade?
No, I don't know. It just feels a bit anticlimactic.
Sorry to disappoint. So, the mission. As I'm sure you know, the Council maintains a number of outposts to secure the border between the Principality and the Marches. One of them is the former Imperial Fortress, KLM. It's held by some 50 troops under the command of Captain Henrik. He sends us weekly status reports, or rather, he used to. We haven't heard a word from him in 3 weeks. Leave immediately for KLM and find out if anyone there is still alive. If Captain Henrik or anyone else is still breathing, bring him back. The Council wants a first-hand report.
Who is this Captain Hendrik?
What can you tell us about this Captain Henrik?
A fine officer. More than 15 years in the Principality's army. He inspires trust, loyalty, and courage. Hence the decision to post him there, facing danger.
Right, we're good to go.
Right, I guess that's that, eh? It's on to KLM.
The 5 council factions have representatives in Caer Caeflin. They can sell you equipment, spells, and many other things. The better your relationship with the faction, the more they have to offer, and the lower their prices. However, these factions are in competition with each other, which means you can't please them all. Various subquests will give you opportunities to improve your relationship with one faction or another. Keep an eye on the faction section of the journal. Press the map button to open the location map. When a waypoint has been found, you can use it for fast travel to another place in the location. For now, you can fast travel to return to the Gravekeeper's Cask. Alright, the Legacy Council, level up. Have we reached level 2 already? We've just done the tutorial and nothing else, but I shan't complain. Let's see. This character is ready to level up. Take a long rest to start the level up sequence. And to do that, I presume I'm going to need to get back to the tavern. That's why we're being sent back there. But we also probably have an opportunity to trade and such. We all got different levels of XP for that, following the different levels of XP we gained during the tutorials, so now we're all on an even keel. Slowly we will learn our way around this place. It's reasonably large and well populated as starting locations go. Right, what did you have to say to us, my lady?
I'll be with you in a minute.
Nothing. Alright, let's get back to the tavern. And Barkeep has something on offer.
Hello, adventurers. What can I offer you?
We need a
We'd
room.
like to stay for the night.
Sure. Just walk up to the suite and settle in.
A suite.
Oh, it's more like a large bedroom, really. But you know, this is the capital city.
Alright, we have options to level up and to prepare spells. Let's start with the 2 that don't need spell preparations, our Rogue. We've gained 7 hit points and an additional hit die, and we have unlocked our Cunning action. You can take a bonus action on each of your turns in combat. This action can only be used to take the dash, disengage, or hide actions. Very good. And for our paladin, we've gained 9 hit points. You've gained 1 additional hit die. We've unlocked Divine Smite. When you hit a creature with a melee weapon, you can spend 1 spell slot to deal 2d8 additional radiant damage, plus 1d8 per spell slot level above first. 1d8 plus 1d8 when hitting an undead or a fiend. We choose a fighting style as a speciality, and we can cast spells from the paladin spell list. Tutorial Fighting Style. Some character classes allow the selection of a fighting style. Fighting style grants you specific advantages to use in combat and equipment. Some character classes are granted a secondary fighting style at higher levels. So defense will give us a +1 bonus to our armor class when wearing armor. Dueling, if you are wielding a melee weapon in one hand and no other weapons, you gain +2 bonus to damage rolls with that weapon. Great weapon fighting. When you roll a 1 or a 2 on a damage die for an attack that you make with a melee weapon that you are wielding in 2 hands, you can re-roll the die. You must use the new roll even if it is a 1 or a 2. The weapon must have the two-handed or versatile property for you to gain this benefit. And protection. When a creature you can see attacks a target other than you within 5 feet, you can use your reaction to impose disadvantage on the attack roll. You must be wielding a shield. So we have some decisions to make. Defense is kind of always good from the get-go. Our AC would go all the way from 18 up to 19, which is going to be really hard for anything this early to hit, I'm sure. Dueling, while you're wielding a melee weapon in one hand and no other weapons. So I think we would be able to carry our shield in our offhand with this. But that's a +2 only to the damage rolls, not to the actual attack rolls themselves. Great weapon fighting. We must be wielding something with 2 hands, whether that's a versatile longsword like we're holding now, or a greatsword that requires 2 hands to be using that weapon. However, I'm probably going to go sword and board with this, so great weapon fighting isn't one for us. And protection, imposing disadvantage on our allies around us. Could be good. I'm just not sure how often this is going to come into play, because we'll be in the front lines. The rogue will be trying to get sneak attack, and if the rogue is up with us trying to do sneak attack because another ally is within 5 feet of their foe, then we should be able to cast to use protection for the benefit of the rogue on many occasions. So we'll try protection out. And we have reached level 2, so we get to prepare spells as a paladin now as well. How many? 4. And these are our choices. So Cure Wounds is always going to be good to have, because it's nice to be able to have somebody that's not the party cleric healing. Bless is a buff. Detect Good and Evil. Notice we have no free hand to perform semantic spell components, so we're going to have to be careful about how we equip ourselves for these things. I don't think we have ritual spellcasting, so while Detect Magic is a ritual, I don't think we could take advantage of that. Divine Favor. Gain additional radiant damage for a limited time. Deals 1d4 radiant damage. Interesting. Heroism. An ally gains temporary hit points and cannot be frightened for a limited time. Shield of Faith. Increase an ally's AC by 2 for a limited time. Concentration. And Detect Evil and Good. Well, what are we most likely to use? Let's take Bless. Let's take Shield of Faith. And let's take Heroism. Validate those. Then we have our Cleric and our Wizard. So we gain an Arcane Tradition. We get more spell slots. And we unlock our class feature of Arcane Recovery. Once a day, when we complete a short rest, we can recover a number of expended spell slots up to half of our wizard level rounded up. So, which kind of wizard do we want to be? The Shock Arcanist gives us a selection of extra damage spells and more dice, or a higher spell slot, hypothetically, when we cast those. I'm not sold on Arcane Shock, though. You overcharge your mana and become restrained until the end of your turn. However, when you cast an attack spell, your damage dice are always above average. In return, you make a con save DC 14 and take 2d6 psychic damage if you fail. Wizard weapon proficiencies, Constitution. I think that's supposed to be save proficiencies. And Arcane Fury. Add your proficiency bonus and intelligence bonus to your evocation spell damage for 1 minute. That does seem pretty good. Lawmaster. Advantage on Arcana History and Investigation checks. Advantage to copy spellbook scrolls to your spellbook. Scrolls and potion crafting costs are halved. You learn more spells, and you add your proficiency number to the number of spells you can memorize. So that's kind of plain. And then the Green Mage. We have a higher number of spells that are considered wizard spells for us. Lots of stuff that you kind of traditionally think of on the Druid's spell list. Druid or Ranger, perhaps. Able to craft ammunition, weapon proficiency, light armor, proficiency in the short bow, fighting style archery. So yeah, it's kind of halfway between Ranger, Wizard, and Druid, which is interesting. You get an entangling shot later, and then leaf scales. When an attacker that you can see hits you with a ranged attack or spell, you can use your reaction to halve the damage against you. I think I'm going to go fairly plain Jane here and just pick Shock Arcanist. We then have a number of spells to learn. It says or cantrips, but it's not offering us cantrips because at this time we don't increase the number of cantrips known at second level. But we can... the scroll wheel is acting strangely. We can now pick 2 of these spells to add to our spell book that we then can use later. Our armor class is already 12. Mage armor would up it to 13 for the cost of a spell slot. That seems not necessarily worth that whole extra spell slot. Grease. Cover an area of 2x2 cells in grease. Creatures trying to cross it may fall prone. And I believe that grease will be flammable as well. I will take Featherfall because there's a lot of 3D elements in this game that we may want to try and escape from, or if somebody gets shoved from a cliff, we should be able to use Featherfall as a reaction to save them. False Life. Gain 1d4 plus 4 temporary hit points. Or Charm Person. Inflicts Charmed, save to negate. Considers the caster an ally. Action time 1 hour. Let's take Charm Person because we don't have any kind of out of combat utility stuff really. And then lastly, Pastel the Cleric. We gain another first level spell slot. We have our Channel Divinity that can be used once between rests, and that can be used to either turn undead or Herald of Pain. Causes enemies within 6 cells. Enemies failing a wisdom save receive 1d8 necrotic damage and are poisoned. While camping, it reduces the chances of being attacked and prevents from being surprised, which is very nice. And we gained 8 hit points. So I believe we have prepared spells as we wish. These are our hit die, so these are 2d6s, 2d8s, 2d10s, 2d8s respectively. Let's close that. It's the... I say it's the beginning of a new day, but it's actually 8:30 in the PM. But we are being told to visit the magic shop and buy some food for the journey. Before you can leave, you should visit the local stores to make sure you've got everything you need. Take some time to optimize your equipment, but at least buy some rations of food. You can buy some at Gorim's Emporium on Market Street. Alright. And we may want to visit Hugo Requeur's magic shop. Right, let's do the magic shop first, because that's the alternate quest. Now, I'm still quite lost in this general environment. This person seems to want to have a conversation with us. Let's see what they have to say.
Go get killed in the Badlands.
Not very much, it seems. Now, I wonder if stores are going to have closing times. And also, how are we going to find Market Street? Well, that was easy. So, I'll tell you what, we will end our first session proper of SOLASTA there. Hopefully, we can pick this up fairly intuitively. There's going to be a lot more in the UI to get used to, as opposed to Baldur's Gate, which is very much like Divinity Original Sin 2 that I played a lot of. So that was very easy to pick up, but admittedly I do now have about 120 hours in that, so it's all second nature. I'm sure with a few hours in this, everything will also become fairly second nature. If you have any questions or comments, do feel free to leave them down below. Please consider liking this video if you did enjoy it. It really means a lot to me. And if you have any other suggestions, as ever, put them in the comments. Thank you ever so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.